So even if I believe the body positivity friends of ours, it doesn't feel good in your day-to-day life because we can sing the body positivity songs all day, but when it comes to the reality of this physical world we live in.
Have you ever wondered what successful people have that you don't? What are they doing that you might not be doing? How are they so fit, toned, and healthy while you're not? You ever wondered what you might be missing? Hi, my name is Mo Gayas. Essentially, I'm a kid who's obsessed with winning and sharing the lessons with you because growing up, I wish I had someone like me to help me out. On the Healthy Systems podcast, you will learn one main idea, system from each episode that you can use in your life, whether that is financial, relationships, fitness, and wellness. So if you're a millennial, you're hyper ambitious, this podcast is for you because the more systematic your life is, the more you can win and not waste time. So join me on your journey to building a life of healthy systems for yourself.
Welcome to Healthy Systems Podcast. Today's episode is a little controversial, but I think it's something that needs to be said and is directly relating to health and fitness. Topic for today's episode is being fat is not good. Stop glorifying it. So lately, there's been a huge movement on body positivity. There's a huge movement on you should feel good the way you are. You should like yourself the way you are. And that's a very, very good way to stay stagnant, to stay disappointed. That's also a very, very good way to stay average. On this podcast, we don't believe in that shit. So today, let's talk about this topic. And this is actually inspired by a real life conversation I had about 4 years ago in 2020 or 2021, because I've been a fitness coach for the last 7 years. I've coached hundreds of clients. So I get to have a lot of these conversations. And about 4 years ago, I was on a call and I was talking to this person, and she said she had known me for like 10 plus years, like since college. And she said, Mo, man, like I want to lose weight. I am 50 pounds overweight. And she's a young girl in her 20s. And she was getting engaged at that time. She's like, I want to lose this weight and I don't like the way I look. I feel out of shape. I don't feel energetic. I just feel lethargic at 25 years of age. Something needs to change. But Mo, I also see the other side. Like people tell me that, hey, you should be happy the way you are. You should like your body the way it is. Oh, you're just growing now. Like your metabolism is going to slow down. Welcome to adulthood. Welcome to being out of shape. It's part of life. And she's telling me this, and I could just feel this dilemma in her head, right? Action comes from clarity. Action does not come from confusion. If you're confused on which side to pick, you will forever stay out of shape, okay? So this episode hopefully is a reminder for many of you listening if you are facing that contradiction dilemma right now. So as I was talking to her, I told her, I was like, hey, let's look at the facts. Fact number one, for your height and for your age at this moment, you should be about 40 pounds lighter. Just looking at scientific data alone. And she goes, I agree. I was like, okay, when was the last time you were 40 pounds lighter? She goes, about 4 years ago. I'm like, perfect. So when you were 21, you were at that. I was like, and how did it feel? She goes, I felt amazing. I could fit into all my dresses. I felt great. I was more energetic. I could go on long hikes without feeling tired. And I was like, okay, so that's great. So you like the feeling that you had when you were 40 pounds lighter. She's like, I freaking loved it. I was like, excellent. And now you want to go back there. She goes, I would love to. And I'm like, what's stopping you? She goes, I don't know. Because a lot of people tell me that I should be happy the way I am. And I'm like, but what do you want to do? She goes, I know I'm not happy the way I am. I'm like, okay, great. So we actually want to lose the weight, correct? She goes, yeah. And I was like, okay. And then there's also a little bonus benefit of losing that weight. She goes, what is it? I was like, well, if we keep staying at this body weight, another year is going to go by, another 2 years is going to go by, 3 years will go by. And every year on average, you've been gaining about 10 pounds a year. So let's say in 3 years, you and I talk and you're 30 pounds heavier. Now we got 70 pounds overweight. What does that mean? Well, that means you're going to go to your annual physical, with your doctor. And your doctor is going to be like, yo, you're pre-diabetic. Because now you're 27, 28 years old. You're likely pre-diabetic. They're probably going to say, hey, your cholesterol levels are high. They're also going to say, hey, you got this problem and that problem. And that's if nothing else happens. But most of the time, being 70 pounds overweight is going to cause you to have low energy, which might mean that if you work in corporate America or if you run your own business, somebody else with more energy, in better shape, who looks great, who is more energetic is going to take your position, right? Because if I was a boss and I had two good candidates with the same education applying for the same job, and one of them is just better energy, they have more energy, they're more alive, they can get things done, their brain is more clear, versus yours being 70 pounds overweight carries a lot of mental burden too. Okay, think about it. If you wake up every day, you use the bathroom, you get into your car, you go to the grocery store, and you're carrying a 70-pound backpack on you at all times. That 70-pound backpack, 24 hours a day, even while you sleep. You see your heart, your lungs, your brain, your entire bones, your entire skeletal system was not built to carry 70 pounds on it all the time. It just wasn't built for that. So the fact that you're carrying it, now you're also going to have bone issues, right? Arthritis. Your metabolism is already slowed down. Your hormones are out of whack too, just because you are overweight. So on one side, I'm like, we get you feeling great. We get you back to your 21-year-old weight. You lose 40 pounds. You get to look great. You get to feel great. You said you'll fit into your old clothes. You'll look toned. You'll have more energy. And we get to prevent diabetes, heart disease, high cholesterol, all these lifestyle dependent diseases from that. On the other side, we listen to the body positivity homies who tell us to be happy the way you are. You look great the way you are. You should be happy with life. It's great. But that's going to give us all these problems. We might get, pushed over by a promotion that says you're supposed to get a promotion and somebody else comes and takes it. Right. And that client, I remember she even mentioned this girl named Emily at work. She goes, you know what else bothers me, Mo? I'm like, what? She goes, there's this girl named Emily. She sits next to me at work and she does CrossFit and she's in good shape. And every guy comes and talks to her and nobody talks to me. I'm like, shit. So even if I believe the body positivity friends of ours, it doesn't feel good in your day-to-day life. Because we can sing the body positivity songs all day, but when it comes to the reality of this physical world we live in, people that are fit get more importance than people who are not. There's a reason all these Victoria's Secret models get they're all in really good shape. Victoria's Secret and all these big companies pay us trainers a lot of money to keep their models in shape. Why do you think that is? It's because humans are naturally wired to be more attracted to fit people. No amount of programming is gonna change that. I know we recently started having, overweight models in the malls and all of it. But no matter how hard this movement tries, it's really hard to change human psychology. It's really hard to change the brain wiring. Okay. Summer is about 3 months away. So if you want to look your very best this summer, because chances are you've tried in the past and you're like, I'm going to get myself in shape. I'm going to keep myself accountable. I'm going to get this workout program. And then you just stick with it for a couple of days and then it goes away. And that's not your fault. That's actually just lack of support. So at Training with the Titans, who is actually sponsoring this podcast, Training with the Titans, this is what we do. We're health and fitness coaches. We're also nutrition coaches. And currently we're taking on 5 clients. So if you're listening to this episode, all you got to do, if you're interested in learning more, all you got to do is just DM me, direct message me the word Healthy Systems Summer 2024. Just four words, Healthy Systems. So I know you're coming from the podcast, and then Summer 2024. So then I can give you the proper information. We can perhaps get on a call and get to know you better, get to know your goals better. But if you're in that phase and you actually want this summer to be the summer where you look your best, you feel your best, then just take advantage of this opportunity and just DM me the word Healthy Systems Summer 2024. And you can DM me on Facebook and Instagram. My handles are the same. It's just Mo Gaius, Ghias. And then I'll take care of you. No matter how politically correct we make dad bods to be, a guy with 6-pack abs still gets the attention of more girls than a dad bod ever will. And that's a very controversial statement, but you and I both know it's freaking true. And the reason it's true is because there are benefits to being healthy. There are benefits to having lean muscle mass. There are benefits to being in shape. You see, when the fire starts and the house is burning, the guy with the six-pack abs can probably carry one or two people and still be able to run outside. A person who's out of shape, as soon as they start to sprint, their hamstring is going to cramp. So they are naturally out of shape person is a liability. Okay. And you have to remember that what beliefs we choose to believe will shape the destiny of your life. And to really close the story, that person, that client, that girl that I was talking to in 2020, she believed this story of getting in shape is more beneficial. She listened to me. She actually became a client. She worked with us for, I think, 3 to 6 months, lost 20 pounds, and then she got engaged. And then she got married. And her spouse came up to me. So one time, because she's also a good friend, so we ran into each other in, I believe, Chicago. And she introduced me to her husband at that point, and he thanked me. He goes, "Thank you for giving me my wife back." Right. And because she had stuck with those habits that we taught her, she still continues to exercise. She eats healthy. And I believe now it's been a couple of years, but I believe now they even have a kid. So now that kid is going to reap the benefits of a healthy mom, of a healthy household that that kid is going to grow up in. Right. Versus the other story would have meant that same person being out of shape. Pregnancy is always harder if you're out of shape. If you're overweight, even your OBGYN doctor tells you that, hey, lose the weight first, otherwise it's going to be a high risk pregnancy, right? And then you're passing all those bad habits to your kid. Even if you have a successful pregnancy, you're passing all those bad habits to your kid. And now your kids are unhealthy from the start. You're putting them at a disadvantage from the start. So you see, the stories you believe in life matter. Stop believing the story that dad bod or being overweight is somehow good. It's not. You see, if you are starting at that point, don't feel bad, because I promise you, I freaking promise you, you can change it. I did. I was a fat, overweight kid in college. I still have pictures from working in the hospitals, and I just looked 30 pounds. I just looked obese. And the crazy thing is, some might call it, oh, he wasn't obese, but I was pretty freaking overweight. I remember at the age of 18 going to my doctor and him saying, bro, you are pre-diabetic. Your mom has type 2 diabetes. You like, yeah, that's where we're headed. And I remember being like, shit, God help me. I need to change something. And that's where I decided to change my life. And something bad had to happen. I actually ended up tearing my ACL, and that, because I was that out of shape. So that it took something bad happening for me to start. For you, something bad doesn't need to happen. Okay. You can actually start getting in shape. And all you got to do is hire somebody that has done it for hundreds of other people. Because if you're stuck, chances are it's hard to get unstuck without additional help. Because then you're going to keep repeating the things you already know, which is just running in circle eights. Right. And a lot of the time, you have to remember, what story am I believing? And what I tell all my clients is, you kind of have to hate being fat. If you want to get in shape, one thing that everybody that stays in good shape, they actually hate, and they don't tell you this, they actually hate being fat. They actually hate being out of shape. Their standards are that I'm in shape athlete, or I am, and I'm somebody that is in shape. Whatever your identity is, you kind of have to hate being out of shape. Kind of have to hate being fat. Because if you accept it, you will tolerate it. If you tolerate it, you will keep it. You'll just stay that way, right? Change can be difficult, but you realize all the pros and cons, and the pros of being healthy, they outweigh everything else, right? The pros of being out of shape, there is none. You just stay average. And the laws of average, if you're around other average people who are also out of shape, it's just, why do that to yourself? You only have one life. 170,000 people died today. Every day, 170,000 people don't wake up, but you did. So why not? First of all, how great is that? So why be average? God, the universe, gave you another day of life. Why not choose that and be like, man, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to actually get in the best shape of my life. I'm going to push harder because being fat doesn't take any effort. Being in shape does. And the crazy thing is, if you do the hard things, you'll have an easy life. If you do the easy things, you'll have a hard life. And that's a reality of this world we live in. And that's actually a good thing because most people don't do the hard things. And that's why they have a hard life. You and I will do the hard things so we can have an easier life. So when you have kids, when it's time to run the hills, when it's time to do something that requires doing, we don't need to go out and train. We've been training. We have been prepared. When it's time for your wedding day, you don't have to get in shape. You've been in shape. When it comes time for that big event, giving a speech, getting promotion, whatever that day is, you've been ready. Okay? So please understand that being fat is not good and we shouldn't glorify it. And the more people glorify it, ask yourself, are those people in the best shape of their life or are they just settling too? Because it's easy to freaking settle. It's easy to stay fat. It requires no effort, right? So at the end of the day, hope this podcast clarified that for you. Getting in shape is by far the most foundational thing you can do for your own personal development. It will improve your life. It'll also improve the life of your family, and it'll put you leaps and bounds ahead of other people. So keep crushing it. And with love, I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you for listening to the Healthy Systems podcast. I really appreciate you for tuning in today. Now, here are 2 ways I can help you for free. One, you can join our free Facebook community by just going to this link, bit.ly/Titan Facebook group. Just type that into your browser and then answer 2 questions, and then we'll let you into our Facebook community where you'll meet other people, as well as we have a lot of free resources in terms of meal plans, workouts, all kinds of stuff in there. Second way I can help you for free is if you follow me on Instagram at MoeGaius, MoE, as in George, H as in horse, I as in India, A as in apple, S as in Sam. Follow me there and then shoot me a message with the word Healthy Systems, and then I'll be sure to send you a free gift. Other than that, keep listening in, and I really appreciate you.